You're sitting in your doctor's office. They're looking at your chart with that face. The one that says, "We need to talk." Your blood pressure's up, your weight's creeping higher each year, and your energy? Practically gone. You've tried everything: keto, low-carb, gym memberships, even those expensive detox teas that taste like disappointment. Nothing sticks. Now imagine this. 6 months later, you're 20 pounds lighter. Your skin is glowing, your energy is back, and you didn't diet for a single day. In fact, you've been eating bread, pasta, cheese, and yes, even dessert. How? You moved abroad. It sounds ridiculous, but I've seen it happen again and again. People move to a new country for work, study, love, or pure adventure, and the weight just comes off. Not because they tried harder, but because they lived differently. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why Expatlife might be the most powerful, most fun, and most sustainable weight loss strategy in the world. And by the end of this video/article, you might start looking at plane tickets instead of diet plans. Please subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. I'm waiting for you. Let me know in the comments section after subscribing. Thank you. Before we get into how moving abroad can transform your body and mind, let's be honest about where most of us are starting from. In our home countries, we fall into routine traps. Think about it. You wake up, grab a quick breakfast, probably toast, cereal, or something from a box. You sit in traffic, sit at your desk, sit on the way home, then sit on the couch. That's 10+ hours of sitting every day. Your grocery store is filled with convenience food, things that last for months on a shelf, which should be your first clue that they're probably not the healthiest choice. You have your go-to takeout spots. You know exactly where the chips aisle is, and your favorite coffee chain already knows your order before you say it. Even if you try to be healthy, life gets in the way. Gym memberships are unused because after work you're exhausted. Diets feel restrictive, so the moment you stop, the weight returns, often with a few extra friends. This was my life before I experienced living abroad for the first time. My world was small but predictable. Comfortable, but maybe too comfortable. I thought the problem was lack of discipline. I thought I just needed to try harder. What I didn't realize was that my environment was doing most of the damage. See, when everything in your day is designed for speed, convenience, and comfort, it's almost impossible to lose weight naturally. Our cities, our schedules, even our social lives, they're built for sitting, eating, and rushing. The crazy thing is, you don't even notice it until you step into a completely different environment. One where your habits are forced to change because the world around you is different. And that's exactly where the magic of expat life begins. The first week in a new country is like being a toddler again. You're figuring out how to cross the street without getting lost, how to order food without butchering the language, and which bus actually goes in the direction you need. It's frustrating. It's awkward. And it's exactly what starts your health transformation. See, back home, you can live on autopilot. You know where everything is. You can do your day with your eyes half closed. But abroad, you're forced to be present. You walk more because you don't know the transport system yet. You pay attention to what you eat because the ingredients are new. You spend less time glued to a TV because you're busy figuring out how to live. I remember my first month in Italy. I had no car, so I walked everywhere, to the grocery store, to meet friends, to explore side streets that looked interesting. Some days I clocked 15,000 steps without even trying. That's more than double what I used to do at home. And it wasn't exercise. It was just life. There's also the element of intentional eating. When you're somewhere new, you're curious. You want to try the local dishes. And because eating out can be expensive if you do it daily, you learn to cook with fresh ingredients from the local market. You start buying tomatoes that actually taste like tomatoes. You pick bread baked that morning instead of a plastic-wrapped loaf that lasts for weeks. And here's the kicker. You don't think about dieting. You're just living. But the act of living differently naturally changes your calorie intake and activity level. Culture shock resets your habits whether you want it to or not. And those new habits? They often turn out to be far healthier than the ones you left behind. Food is where the biggest shift happens for most expats. Let's compare. In the US or UK, it's easy to eat 2,000 calories in a single fast food meal. In Japan, a typical lunch might be a bowl of rice, grilled fish, miso soup, and vegetables, around 600 calories, and yet you feel full. In Italy, people eat pasta every day, but the portions are smaller, the ingredients fresher, and meals are eaten slowly. In Thailand, you can grab a plate of stir-fried vegetables, rice, and chicken from a street vendor for under $2, and it's fresher than most restaurant food back home. In Ghana, you'll find dishes like wache or kenki, made from whole grains and legumes, with minimal processing. Yes, they're carb-heavy, but they're paired with nutrient-dense sides like fish, greens, and plantain. Another key difference? Food culture abroad is less about mindless eating and more about the experience. You sit down, you share meals, you savor. There's less snacking because the main meals actually satisfy you. And markets are game changers. Instead of pushing a cart down endless aisles of packaged food, you're picking up fresh produce, local spices, and seasonal items. The variety keeps your meals exciting, which makes it easier to stick with healthier eating patterns without feeling restricted. The bottom line: moving abroad often means eating fewer ultra-processed foods without even trying, and that alone can spark significant weight loss. If food is the first big shift, movement is the second. Back home, exercise is usually a separate event. You go to the gym, follow a class, or squeeze in a run before work. But in many parts of the world, movement is built into daily life. In Europe, cities are walkable. Sidewalks are everywhere, and driving is often more hassle than it's worth. In Asia, markets and shops are close enough that you can carry groceries home by hand. In Africa, open-air markets and community spaces encourage walking, standing, and mingling rather than sitting. When I lived in Lisbon, my daily step count doubled without me ever stepping foot in a gym. My apartment was up a steep hill, a hill I had to climb at least twice a day. By the end of the first month, my legs were stronger and my clothes were looser. Here's the secret. When you're active as part of your lifestyle, you don't have to rely on motivation. You walk because you have to get to the bus stop, to buy fresh bread, to meet friends at a cafe. It's what I call the accidental workout plan. Walking to explore new neighborhoods, taking stairs because elevators are rare, carrying heavy market bags, cycling or riding a scooter instead of driving. And it adds up fast. Walking 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day burns around 300 to 500 calories, depending on your weight and pace. Do that consistently and you could lose a pound every week without dieting or going to the gym. This is why so many expats say, "I didn't even notice I was losing weight. I was just living my life." Weight loss isn't just a physical change. It's a mental one. And nothing rewires your thinking like moving to a completely different culture. When you're abroad, you see the world differently. You start questioning habits you never thought about before. Why did I eat dinner in front of the TV every night? Why was I always rushing through my meals? Why did I think healthy meant buying expensive diet products instead of just eating real food? In France, mealtimes are slow social events. People spend an hour or more at the table, talking, savoring, and enjoying their food. In Japan, presentation matters, and meals are often served in small portions that encourage balance. In Mediterranean countries, meals often include olive oil, fresh vegetables, and lean proteins, a combination proven to be good for heart health. Living in a new culture helps you detach from old triggers. Maybe you used to grab fast food after work because you passed the same chain restaurant every day. Abroad, that habit is gone. Maybe you used to snack out of boredom because Netflix was your main evening activity. Now, evenings are for meeting friends or strolling through local streets. Your relationship with food, movement, and even time shifts. And when your mindset changes, the results last. Now, because you're not forcing yourself to be healthy. If living abroad in a way that so naturally supports health, why isn't everyone fit? The truth is, there are challenges. You can still gain weight abroad if you fall into certain traps, like overindulging in pastries in Paris or deep-fried street food in Manila. Here are the 3 biggest challenges and how to beat them. 1. Temptation from local treats. Every country has its indulgences, and part of the joy of living abroad is trying them. The trick? Treat them like an experience, not a daily habit. Enjoy the gelato, but don't make it breakfast every day. 2. Homesickness and comfort eating. When you miss home, it's easy to turn to food for comfort. Combat this by creating new non-food rituals, joining a local club, learning a skill, or exploring on weekends. 3. Lack of structure. If you're working remotely or on a flexible schedule, you might find yourself eating at odd hours. Stick to regular mealtimes even if your daily routine is loose. Remember, the environment gives you a head start, but you still have to make mindful choices. Thinking of making the leap? Here's a quick guide to get started. 1. Choose the right destination. Look for walkable cities, fresh food culture, and affordable living costs. Examples: Lisbon, Bangkok, Valencia, Kyoto, Accra. 2. Budget smart. Living abroad can be cheaper than you think if you avoid tourist traps, cook at home, and shop at local markets. 3. Move with purpose. Choose an apartment that's within walking distance of markets, cafes, and public transport. The more you walk, the better. 4. Learn the basics of the language. Even just hello, thank you, and how much will make your daily life easier and more active, since you won't avoid markets out of shyness. 5. Immerse yourself in local life. Join community events, volunteer, or take classes. The more you're out and about, the more active you'll be. Let me leave you with one story. A friend of mine, Daniel, was stuck in the corporate grind in New York. He was overweight, tired, and stressed. One day, he decided to take a teaching job in Vietnam, just for a year. That year changed everything. He biked to school every day, ate fresh pho for breakfast, and spent weekends hiking or exploring nearby towns. By the end of his first year, he had lost 40 pounds, without counting calories or joining a gym. When I asked him what his secret was, he said, "I stopped trying to lose weight. I just started living a life that made me happy." The weight was a side effect. So maybe the problem isn't your willpower. Maybe it's your environment. If you've been chasing diets and gym routines without results, maybe it's time to stop fighting your surroundings and change them. Book that ticket. Live in a new country for a few months. Walk the streets, eat the food, embrace the culture. Because sometimes the best way to lose weight is to live the life you were meant to have. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell for more updates.